Hello, beautiful people. Oh my gosh, beautiful people. I'm so proud of myself. I just did something absolutely amazing. I'm so proud of myself. Hello, I'm Bonnie Gillespie. It's a house party. We are going to be diving in on the chart harmony of the houses of your astrological chart. I'm chewing on a piece of pink Himalayan rock salt. Wow. Usually I just let it melt under my tongue, and I didn't want to be like sucking on it while I'm doing this, and so I wasn't done with it yet, so I went ahead and just chewed it. Whoa, that is a burst of energy. Y'all, have you hugged yourself today? Even if you have, do it again, because it feels good. So glad you could join me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Get that shadow side. Hello, 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 hello. So good to see you. So good to see you. Look at y'all already blowing up the chat. I'm loving this. Tell me tell me, what is your favorite house in your chart? What is your favorite house? Because we're going to be talking about the houses today. We're going to be taking a look at all 12 houses. We all have all 12 houses, and we're going to be taking a look at all of them. I want to know, which one's your favorite? Which one's your favorite? You're wearing pink and orange. You are celebrating Mercury's Day. Good job, Melly Belly. 4 or 9 for Melissa. Cool. I like it. Those are good. Hi, hi, hi. So good to see you. Lisa, thank you for joining. Hi, Jackie. Yay, Deb Marie is here. Excellent. So good. I just yesterday was interviewed, 1 and 2 for Melly. I was just interviewed yesterday for an astrology book that a colleague is writing, and she is conducting research and wanted to meet with people to check her data, to find out, like, what are we noticing, what kind of trends do we experience. And so seeing y'all talk about some different dates in the chat here before I got here, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I like the pattern that she was tracking might be something that's even like kind of universal. I mean, well, I would imagine if she's been working on this book, there's a reason. There's a reason. I can't say much more, but anyway, y'all, yes, on Mercury's Day, you want to do patterns. Okay, so I've got these leggings, and I've got this sweater, this tank, and then this other tank, because you got to wear all the layers when you get cold like I do. Because Mercury likes patterns and rhythms, and also likes things to not go together. It likes the contrast. It likes the chaos. So that's a fun way to do Mercury as well. The 11th or the 9th for you, Lisa. Yeah, I like those. I like those. These are good. These are good. Favorite house? No idea. Wearing gray, white, black. Bracelets are pink and green and chakra. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Cool. Me too, wearing black and gray for Jackie. Awesome. Need to write books, reminds me. And yeah, so the funny part is, while we were talking yesterday, she's like, so Bonnie, you're churning out a book, right? Like, because I declared when Jupiter moved into Gemini, my ninth house, not 11th house. When Jupiter moved into Gemini, my ninth house, I declared at least one of my books will get done while Jupiter is in Gemini. And we got like 2 months left. And she said, you're like doing an entire container. You're doing like a write your book with Bon year-long write along, right? And I'm like, it's a write along, but it's a write along instead of ride along, or anyway. Yeah, she called me on it. It's not done yet. It's not done yet, but it's way closer to done than it was 9 months ago, 10 months ago. 7th house is where I naturally gravitate. I also feel a need to nurture that 6th house stuff. Love it. Your pants are patterned. Okay, good, 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 good. I know. You just got to do it. Just got to do it. Just got to do it. Excellent, fabulous. Okay, y'all. So you have to be proud of me. I mentioned at the top, I'm very, 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 very proud. What I was doing at the start of our time together was drawing this with no ruler and no protractor. Oh, you can see okay, let's try not to get the glare. Okay, there we go. I drew this. What I used was my Mars plate, because I have a Mars plate, like you do. And I use the Hello Kitty stickers, like for a straight edge. So technically I did have but I did not measure. I don't know if this is whole sign houses or not. We're going to say it is. We're going to say that each of these is 30 degrees. But there you go. I did this. I did this and I am proud of me. Okay. I did that because I didn't want to do share screen today. I wanted to just kind of like be here and talk through this because this sort of came about organically in my Discord. We have a Chart Harmony Discord. I'll make sure the link is in the description so that those of you watching who are not already a member of the Chart Harmony Discord can come on over and join us. We have lots of fun. I asked the other day, what do y'all want? What are y'all interested in? I got some bandwidth for live streams and webinars, and I want to make sure that I'm creating things that make you happy. What would you like? And we started in a conversation about the houses and what do they mean and what's the difference between this one, that one, the other. And I said, you know what? I could do that. I can make that happen. And so here we are. We're going to make that happen. We're going to talk about the houses. We're going to talk about what do we do with empty houses. We're going to talk about how things are different depending on where they are in your chart, because that is definitely true. So first thing, I'm going to have a handout later. I have a blog post that I'm saving for this to go into. So depending, like if you're watching this in replay by a few hours, I will have the post done. That is bonniegillespie.com/houses-astrology. Right now, if you go there, there's nothing there. So don't go there because then your cache will like hold the empty page. You want wait a little bit later today. I'm going to have your houses-astrology page done at bonniegillespie.com, and I'm going to have a handout for you because I was working on it in Canva this morning and then decided to put on makeup. So it is a very Mercury's day, by the way. All right, so here we go. This is where I'm going to be left-handed. I mean, I am left-handed, so it's okay. This is the way we number the houses. Oh, no. Virgo 12th house will not allow that penmanship. No, ma'am. No. So I am going to write them, and then I'm going to turn it around. Still sloppy handwriting, but at least now, hopefully, it is legible, right? Okay. So we go around the houses this way, 1 through 12. We all have all 12 houses. And even if you have an empty house, you have a sign for every house. And so your rising sign is here in this first house, and that rising sign sets all the rest of the signs, because whatever sign you have as your rising, which is your first house sign, you are going to then move through the zodiac that way. And in doing so, that puts everything in the zodiacal year around your chart. And if you want to follow, you really want to get to know your chart, you know, sign by sign, house by house, you can follow the sun as it moves around your entire chart wheel all year long. Technically, it's the earth moving around the sun, but we'll call it following the sun around your chart wheel. Anyway, so also the moon goes all the way around your chart wheel every month, a little faster than every month. So you can track it quickly if you would like to do that. I recommend you pay attention to each planet as it moves throughout your life through these houses, because it will teach you a lot about the where in our formula. What formula, Bonnie Gillespie? Well, that would be the chart harmony formula, where we say the planet is the what, the sign is the how, and the house is the where. I will elaborate. The planet is the what is happening. What is happening? Oh my God, what is happening? That's the planet. The planet is doing the thing. It is what is this? What is going on? What, oh my Lordy, what is this? What is the world worlding right now? Planet. Doing. Yes, we have lots of that happening right now. And then how is the planet doing it? How is it doing it? How is it doing it? How? The sign. That is the sign that the planet is in. It is creating the how that planet is doing its doing. And then where is it showing up in our life? In our houses, where it's showing up, which means you're going to experience things differently than other people with other charts, because they're going to have something show up in a completely different house than you unless you have the same rising sign. And when something really big and gnarly in your life feels a certain way and you're wondering, how is everybody else not feeling this? Well, they are. They're just feeling it differently because it's showing up in a different part of their chart. It's showing up in a different where. So even if we're having the same what and the same how because of the transit that's going on, like for instance, we've just recently experienced a really long Mars out of bounds retrograde in Cancer, the sign of his fall. He does not like any of that for a long, long time. But where is Cancer in your chart? And if your planets, if your houses are angular for the cardinal signs, meaning you have Cancer in house 1, 4, 7, or 10, you felt Mars retrograde in Cancer, also out of bounds for way too long, a little harsher than the other folks. Doesn't mean the other folks didn't feel it. It just means it showed up way more overtly. Why 1, 4, 7, 10? Why are those the more overt places for things to show up? Well, that's because we have these 3 categories of houses. The categories are angular, which is what I just said, 1, 4, 7, 10. Those are the angular houses. Those represent our people in our lives, the action that we take in life, the relationships that we build in our lifetime. They're really important core things. The first house represents our rising, so that's your personality, that's who you are to the world. It is how you do your Eunice. It is the driver of your life car, if y'all follow that concept of chart harmony, the life car that is the road trip of your entire life with your rising driving and all the other things that we learn about that life car experience. The fourth house is your family, your roots. It's where you come from. It's your inherited beliefs sometimes. It is your land, real estate, like the place you grew up. It's the unseen parent. It's the first real relationship that you have in terms of bonding with a parental unit that may not be seen out in the world, but that is very definitely close in for you at home. And so again, that's a relationship. It's people. So then we have the seventh house, and that seventh house is where we do our one-on-one stuff. That is our +1. That is our person or our coach, our therapist, our business partner. It's any time that we're in a one-on-one relationship, that's the seventh house. And so that's a big topic there. And then the 10th house, that's the career. That is who we are in the public eye. It's our ambition, our motivation, our passion for doing the things that are important to us. It is sometimes our true north. You know, that can vary. That has a little bit more to do with the North Node, but we're not going to get into that on this conversation. But those angular houses are some really big ticket items, and they are really easily seen in life. Now, the next set of houses, 2, 5, 8, and 11. So I just did 1, 4, 7, 10 for angular. Then we have 2, 5, 8, and 11. Those are the succedent houses. Succedent, like success. Succedent. This is, or like succession, more like it. But yeah, like success in terms of Succedent. Yeah, Succedent. Succedent. Okay. So now I'm doing cheerleader success. Like the Success. That's the way we spell success. Did you not go whatever the team is? Anyway, your succedent houses are ones that are mainly focused around resources. So I know that we're talking about the where with all of this, but your resources are where you will notice things happening in these 4 houses. And so that second house, for example, is your earned income. I go to a jobby job, I clock in, I clock out, I get a paycheck. That is my earned income. Second house is also your values, your valuables, your stuff. It's like the things that you keep, your resources. It's stuff that you have. It is your possessions, your belongings. The fifth house, interestingly, is the resource of risk taking. It is how am I going to be willing to take risks? how risk friendly am I? Do I want to put things in jeopardy? Do I want to put my resources into a state of iffiness? Do I want to play the lottery? Do I want to gamble? Do I want to have an affair? Do I want to take the stage? These are all fifth house matters. And so it's like, how do I feel about my relationship with my stuff? Am I willing to have a little childlike glee around it? Because that is also a fifth house concern. And so it's like, how do you treat your resources? Fifth house. Then the eighth house, this is considered a dark house, and we'll spend a little bit of time talking about what dark houses are. But the eighth, since it's the first real dark house that we're looking at, the eighth house is other people's money. It's inheritance. It's a surprise tax bill. It's a surprise grant, a surprise credit. It's an influx of money. It's an outflow of money. It is stuff you don't control financially coming in or out. It's also where we do some of the occult work. It's where we may explore astrology. It's where we really dig in on the secrets and the shadow work that might be necessary in the work that we do. Because I mostly work with creative entrepreneurs, there's a lot of eighth house work that we do. I could probably teach an entire course on like re-loving your eighth house or reclaiming your eighth house or understanding your eighth house, because it is super deep. It is a dark house, which means it likes being mysterious. It likes not giving you all the information. But when it comes to resources, that can make us feel a certain kind of way about, like, I don't know. Second house, we have all our stuff. Fifth house, we decide how much risk we want to take with all our stuff. And then in the eighth house, whoa, we don't actually get to know what our relationship is with that stuff, but it can play a really big factor in how we do our business, how we do our lives, right? So that's all stuff to consider for that succedent house. And then finally, the 11th house is the house of your resource of community, the resources that are mobilized through action and activism, your people, your friends, your audience, your legacy that you're going to leave for the collective, all of that innovation and moving forward. And even as you leave, what you leave behind. All of that is considered 11th house matters. Then we have the last set of houses, which are the cadent houses. And that would be third house, sixth house, ninth house, and 12th house. Okay, so we have angular 1, 4, 7, 10. We have succedent 2, 5, 8, 11. And then we have cadent 3, 6, 9, 12. Cadent. The cadent houses are the most private. They are the most confusing sometimes because they have a lot of stuff that they each do, but they aren't as easily accessible as the angular houses. So with the cadent houses, let's start with the third house. We've got communication, we've got social media, we've got our siblings, we've got our cousins, we've got our neighborhood, our close-in friend group, the community in the local neighborhood. The communication that we have with those people. It's how we learn, how we were educated growing up, how we pull from what we were taught early on, how those beliefs formed, and how we continue to pull from them now. That all of the support tasks that are in there and the problem solving that lives in there is a big quality of the cadent houses. The sixth house is our day-to-day stuff. It is the work that we do in our jobby job. If we have a jobby job, it's just the daily grind. It is health, habits, hygiene. It is the daily doings. It's the brushing the teeth. It's the getting up, getting dressed. It's the, drink your water, as many glasses as you're supposed to have. Make sure you get your exercise. It's also where your pets live. There's just the daily doings, the mundane, as it's called. Is the sixth house problem solving that goes on. It's also a very important house for health and healing. How healthy are you? What's your core like? What's your go-to for when you're feeling unwell? We look to the sixth house for all of that vitality and so on. And then we have the ninth house, which is where we go for higher education. It's where we travel internationally. So the communication that happens in the ninth house is higher learning. It's executive function brain stuff. It's, do we want advanced degrees or do we want to have experiential learning? Do we want to learn by going to all the college? Yes. Do we want to learn by doing all the traveling? Also, yes. It is definitely a place where we can get a little overwhelmed with all the options that we have for expanding our world. I have some theories about how we could probably cure a lot of the things that feel wrong with the world when it comes to our isms, our racism, our sexism, our also our phobias, our like all the things that are based in I've not been around enough people to have empathy for all the people that are unlike me. I think we fix that by just doing more ninth house work. Like learn who more people are, get to have experiences with more people that don't look like you, that don't sound like you, that don't have the same values as you. Probably the expansion that happens in the ninth house could, I don't know, maybe heal everything. Just a thought. But there's a lot of problem solving that happens in the ninth house. Ninth house is also where we have philosophy, religion, astrology. I know I also mentioned astrology in the eighth house. Yes, both. And it is also where we have legal stuff. So a lot of communication, problem solving, again, big feature of the Cadent houses. And then finally, the 12th house. This is our next dark house. So I mentioned the eighth house was dark. That's one of the Succedent houses. The 12th house, also dark, Cadent house. The 12th house darkness, though, is the ways in which our mind may imprison us. So when we think about how the sixth house is our daily doings and the mundane, the little problem solving habit type stuff, it's also our physical wellness, our health, hygiene, all that stuff. The 12th house is mental health. The 12th house is how is my brain working when I'm trying to sleep or when I'm just letting thoughts float in and out, like what is the chatter or how much chatter is there? People who can remember or not remember their dreams or have lucid dreams, a lot of that has to do with what the 12th house looks like for them. And so that's definitely part of the conversation there. It is our subconscious, it's our unconscious. It is ways in which systems have been created that don't necessarily help us. It can be the place of our undoing. It's another one, like I said, dark house, another one of those dark houses. And in those dark houses, we have the surprise of I don't actually get to know all the workings of that place. I don't actually understand how that place works. Okay, so got all that. The angular houses 1, 4, 7, and 10 are where you're going to spend most of your attention in life. It is where the stuff that happens is going to feel the biggest. It is when things happen in those places in your chart. Let me get another color. Oh, let me get this pink one. I have to be careful though. If I rip the top off of this pink one, I rip the eraser off. So I have to kind of leverage it differently. All right, let's see. Let's see if this one still works. So we get, oh yes, it still works. Holy balls, it works. Excellent. Okay. Oh, that's a sloppy star. That's a sloppy star. Okay. These are the places where we're going to get the most of our energy, the most of our attention. I know, just hold it steady, Gillespie. I know I'm trying to not make the light bounce off it, but I realize with this big window and it's hard not to get that. So let's say that the majority of your energy is going to show up in those places. When transits or ingresses, that means a planet moving into a sign, or retrogrades, station, or direct in any of those 4 places, those angular houses, you're really going to feel it. You're going to, I also have a live stream. It wasn't a live stream. I uploaded a video that I shot like in the middle of the night here at YouTube that is called My Transit Impact System. I actually think the video may be labeled Why Retrograde Sucks or Why Does Astrology Hate Me? I tried a wild title to see if it would help. It didn't help. Nobody's watched the video. So I may relabel it so that it has a friend. I don't know. Transit Impact System seemed really boring. So I went with Why Does Astrology Hate Me? Or Why Are These Eclipses So Hard? Or why, anyway, whatever. I will come up with a better title, but it will be linked in the description of this exact video, so you'll be able to find it. But that talks about how the angular houses are going to give you more of an impact with the things that happen. So then the Succedent houses are going to be next after that. So we're going to go a little bit of a swirly thing in those houses. So do you see my little bit of a swirly thing in the Succedent houses? Your resources, you'll feel things when they happen in those houses. You'll feel things. You will, but not as much as you'll feel in the angular houses. And then in the cadent houses, remember the cadent houses have that dark house of the 12th, right? And then also the day-to-day boring stuff of the 6th. It's like, they're kind of like working behind the scenes, chugging along without much maintenance. So they really are going to be the ones that you don't notice as much. But boy, when you get out of whack with your daily practices, it creates trouble. You know from inertia, if you decide to stop brushing your teeth today, it is not going to take very long for shit to start falling out of your mouth. Don't do that. Brush your teeth every day, twice a day. Please floss. Apparently people don't floss. I went to the dentist before Saturn moved into the third decan of Pisces. That was a very important thing for me to do for where my medical chart lines up. Anyway, not the point, Gillespie. But the point is, I went in and she was just like, you get an A, like maybe even close to an A+ on your like home hygiene. Like, what's your practice? And I was like, I brush my teeth, I floss my teeth. She goes, how often do you floss? And I'm like, twice a week. And she's like, oh, yeah, yes, it shows. And I'm like, okay. But those cadent houses are going to be the ones where I'm just going to do a drip, 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 drip. So it is a little deceptive. It looks like there's nothing going on there. You get the least impact when transits happen there, but you will notice if you let something get out of whack. How's that? Do you like my little key for those things? Now, I'm going to not put that lid on all the way so that I can use it again. I want to also mention that there is a grouping by quadrant, and I would like you to consider it this way, that there is a top half of the chart and a bottom half of the chart. There's also this side of the chart and that side of the chart. Okay, you with me? Oh, this is going well. I like this. Ah, that one doesn't look good. No, those don't look good. I got to do those over. Virgo 12th house. I got to do those over. See, it's the kind of thing, it won't bother you. It'll bother me. It'll bother all the Virgos and Capricorns. I already know that. Okay. All right. So here's what we've got with this. The stuff that happens here. No. Oh, let me do side by side. Let me do one side at a time. Yeah, we'll do sides. Oh no, we'll do top and bottoms. We're going to do it all. I just am trying to decide the order I want to do it in. Okay. So down here, this stuff is private compared to this stuff. Oh my gosh. Can I do it? Can I do it? Nope. Pimp down. All right. Let's try again. See, that's the good news, though, about writing on yourself on Mercury's day. Who can tell? Who can tell that I just wrote on myself? Nobody. All right. Let's try this again. Private. I got to be careful. I can't, like, drape my hand across the ink because it'll definitely smear it. Okay, cool. Got that? Got it. All right. Public, private. But wait. Me, we. Okay, so did you see what we did there? We've got we and me. Okay. Private, public, private, public. We, me. No, that's not correct. That's right. That's not correct. Dang it. Yes. Yes. Do over. Because all I did was repeat the thing. Okay. Do over. This is it. Da-da-da. You see, I use live streaming to like try out what I want to teach elsewhere. Thanks for your patience. All right. So here we've got, these are me things. These are we things. These are private things. And these are public things. Yes. So what do I mean by that? My first house, that is who I am. Yes, it is technically how I show up in the world, but it is a private thing that I am, like my meanness, and then how much of it do I let out? But it's me, me, me. This is private stuff, private stuff. This is private stuff, but it's we. This involves my family. This is like stuff kept in the dark in terms of if I'm gonna have an affair, or if I decide I'm gonna have kids, that kind of thing becomes a we, but it's private because it's under here. And then my day-to-day rituals and things that I do, pretty private. But the we part of this is I go to my jobby job, or I have pets. And then over here, this is a public we. This is my one-on-one relationship that the world sees. This, even though it is a dark house, has a public experience because it is a we thing that is influenced by things that are outside of my doing. Like, I cannot be the only thing that has a presence in the eighth house. In order for the eighth house to generate that other people's income, the other is a part of it. And so that's why it is a more public concern as well as a we thing. And then the ninth house, of course, is all the travel and all the higher learning. And so it's public, it's we get out and experience the world. And then 10th house being the career, public, it's who we are in the public eye, our reputation, ambition, all that stuff. But it's me. What am I doing for my career? That's what shows up here. And then the 11th house is who am I in front of my audience? What is this legacy that I'm leaving behind? So yes, it feels like it's a we, but it's a public thing. That's why it feels we, because public, but it's a me thing. What am I doing in here? And then of course, the 12th house we could argue is technically a private me thing, but it's also a public thing, because the places where we don't deal with our shit in our 12th house life will absolutely show up in public. I will come up with a better way to present this the next time I do it, so that it doesn't get so confusing, because I'm realizing even as I'm talking it out, I want different labels for it so that it isn't so easily seen across the board. You learn that things happening in the left side of the chart initiated by the person. The right side is responding to others initiating. I love that. Lisa, thank you. I love that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what that would mean is I started. I started. And then this is I respond. I like it. I don't like my handwriting right there, but that's okay. I respond. How's that? Thank you, Lisa. You're always so awesome. I respond. Beautiful. Beautiful. Excellent. I just said what exactly what is happening and can't talk about it. Yep. Awesome. Yes. Thank you, Lisa. That was so helpful. Okay. Perfect. That is what I needed. That is exactly what I needed. Fabulous. Fabulous. Okay. So with all that in mind, where are your dark houses? Not empty, not empty. The dark houses are the 8th and 12th for sure. The reason we talk about these being dark houses is because they are on the top half of the chart. Okay, so I'm giving them a little darkness right there. They are in the public part of the chart, so we label them as dark houses because it's in a very public place that we have these dark things. However, we also have a very bright 5th house and a very bright 1st house, but those are in the darker part of the chart. So it's okay. It makes sense that we're going to have bright spots in what is generally considered a more private part of the chart, and we're going to have some more public. In the more public part of the chart, we're going to have some places that are a little darker, a little less understood. It is also considered that the 4th house is a semi-dark house, even though it's angular, which is really interesting because the angular houses are where we really, really, really see stuff showing up. But because the 4th house can be our family history, our ancestral stuff, it can be inherited property. It can be land that's been passed along in our family. It can be beliefs that aren't even ours that we bring into the world because of, we were eggs in our mom while she was an egg in her mom. So there's cellular memory for us that goes back 2 generations already. And so that means we start as we are born, already aware of stuff that was felt cellularly by people that we may have never met because of the age difference. It's possible because some people die after, like, I had a granddaddy that was dead before I was born. So like sometimes we don't know our grandparents. But that's where we get into that darkness of the fourth house. So we would say that I would call that one a semi-dark house, because it's just doing what the bottom half of the chart does, which is private stuff. Does that make sense? Yeah. Lisa's like, oh yeah, the fourth can be dark. The fourth can be dark. Yeah. I just would say, when we are looking at why is this so hard to figure out, those dark houses are just doing what dark houses do. So whenever I have something happening in the fourth, the eighth, or the 12th, I go, I'm not supposed to really understand it. Let's also consider that in the natural chart, which is the one that starts with an Aries rising. So that would put Aries, Taurus, Gemini, etc. Goes around like that. That little experience right there puts Cancer here, Scorpio here, and Pisces here. The water signs are not easy to understand. Just ask anyone who's ever loved a water sign. We're complicated, yo. We are like emotional critters. We are so filled with empathy, and we are empaths. It means that we are reacting to things that haven't happened yet and may not happen for years, because we can already feel the disturbance in the water. And so, yeah, the water ruled houses in the natural chart, it makes sense that those would be a little tougher to understand, therefore dark. Still torn between using whole sign houses and not. Yeah, I get that. I like whole signs for the straightforwardness with which we're able to have this conversation. And anything that makes something that could be overwhelming a little more straightforward, I'm for it. When it comes to, we're in a session and I'm looking at your chart and we want to get like really down to the nitty gritty, I will look at it in multiple house systems ways to really see where certain things are going to show up, or when certain things are going to show up. Like I just mentioned, that I had to make sure to go to the dentist before I had Saturn land in third decan Pisces. Why? Because in the chart that is using the kind of house system that we use for medical astrology, which is not whole sign, I would have Saturn moving into my 6th house as soon as it hit the third decan Pisces. And you do not want to deal with tooth shit when Saturn is in your 6th house. And since Saturn stays in a place for 3 years, I knew I got to get whatever dentist shit done that needs doing before that time. And also because if we were using whole sign houses, I already procrastinated too much, because then I would have to do it the second that Saturn moved into Pisces. And I was kind of, not going then, because then was during quarantine times, and my dentist office she now closed her practice in LA and moved to the Pacific Northwest, but was in a really tall office building with only one working elevator. And it was always overcrowded and always anxiety producing, but especially in like 2021. Nope, not getting, no, not getting in that elevator. So when they started like, hey, we're ready to see you, we've got all our protocol in place for safety to see you during quarantine times, come on and get your appointment. We haven't seen you since late 2019. Come on in. I was like, oh, did you move? They're like, no, same place. And I'm like, nope. Did you add another elevator? Did you open the stairs? They also keep the stairs locked. Like, no. Okay. Interesting. 6th house. Yeah. Oh, take medical astrology for a few years, and those classes will make you sure that you have everything, but also really aware of where your chart ends up sprinkling things for you medically, like where you're able to like catch it before you actually catch it. That's been really liberating for me. Super fascinating. I love it. Dennis catastrophe happened when Saturn was not in sixth house. Oh, sure. I mean, it can happen anytime. Saturn's going to Saturn. It's just Saturn breaks things, and bones are a big Saturn thing, and teeth are bones. So I fell and broke a tooth in my last drunken escapade before I got sober, and that was coming up on 10 years ago. And I mean, I can tell you where things were and why that happened. It had nothing to do with sixth house. Yeah, yeah. He was just a fail. Yeah, I had a bad dentist. I've had a couple bad dentists. I got dentist trauma. We're gonna open that wound just yet. Oh my gosh. Yeah, for real, for real. Okay, let's see. Who else has questions, thoughts, want to ask about all the things? You think the sixth house can be dark too, but for sure 8th and 12th are the winners, especially 12th. Yeah. I would say part of the darkness of even, I would say, second house to some degree is by axis. And so if the 12th house is dark, the 6th house can also be dark. If the 8th house is dark, the 2nd house can also be dark. If the 4th house is dark, the 10th house, I don't know, 10th house is really public. And this is where we go, well, yeah, because it's public and me, like that is like who I am to the public. It is going to be a lot more challenging for that to get dark. It doesn't mean that there's not dark stuff happening there, meaning dark like complicated, dark like you got to get under the stuff. For real. Yeah. Do you have any empty houses? And do you want to know why that's no big deal? Of course you do. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. Empty houses are totally normal. It is absolutely possible to have more empty houses than not empty houses, in fact. You may have a chart that clusters a lot of your planets together. You may have a stellium or two. I have video about stellium. I have blog post about stellium. The way your chart lays out shows you where the energy is concentrated. It doesn't mean you won't experience things that happen in empty houses. The empty houses still have the energy of the sign. So remember, using the chart harmony formula, the planet is the what, the sign is the how, and the house is the where. So we have all 12 wheres. Check. We have all 12 hows. Those are the signs. Check. So even if we have no what, no planet, what, in a house, we still have that house is a place that things show up, and the how they show up is the sign. So let's go Leo. Let's go Leo, because that's Mars is about to move into Leo. Thank God. Mars is going to move into Leo. We're going to be able to say we survived Mars and Cancer for fuck ever. Mars moving into Leo, that's a thing. Mars is already fire, passion, action taking, war, aggression. It is just desire, hunger, take. Like it's really got that energy. And in Leo, it is going to do so from a self-centered, because Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun is the center of all the things. It is going to have that energy of, I'm taking it because I want it. I'm fighting because it's important to me. I am going to be passionate because it turns me on. And this does good for me. Now, there are a lot of people, by the way, who are going, we can't take any more narcissistic taking or tanking the economy or doing things that are only good for the billionaires. Like, we can't take any more of that. And I'm like, no. What happens when Mars gets into a sign where more people who have been going, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? What happens when Mars gets there? We have more people going, okay, I guess it's going to be me. I guess I will step up. I guess I will do something. I guess I am going to say, no, you can't have that. That is mine. We are going to take that back. We're going to see a lot of that kind of energy. So that's Mars bringing the thing that's happening, the what, right? and the how of it is the Leo, me, and the where is wherever that house is that you have Leo in your chart. So even if you have an empty Leo house in your chart, it still has that energy of me, and that sun-centered vitality, that look at me, and I'm unapologetic about asking you to look at me. It is, I'm not going to be a people pleaser. Leo says, you're welcome that you get to spend time with me. Like, how lucky are you that you get to be around me? I am wonderful. Enoughness for days with that Leo energy. I am proud to show what things are important to me. And when that energy brings Mars transiting to it, even if your Leo house is empty, you will notice whatever house happens to have Leo is going to have that sort of energy show up in it. And so this is where we go, well, we should always know our money houses. I have a course that I've been building for a while that's called Where's My Money? And it is about the money houses and the money signs and the money planets in your chart, and like where to look for the money in your chart. But the money houses tend to be second and eighth. And so if you have Leo, second house or eighth house, Mars is about to get there by transit. So even if it's empty for you, you are about to have that passion come to a money house. You're about to have that war energy come to a money house. You're about to have that's mine snatch of Leo activated by the visit of Mars by transit, which only happens every couple of years. Okay. Melissa says, because my Mars, Sun, Lilith are there, and I will kick an ass in rebellion, but I like it. Oh, I need to read the thing before. But Leo can also be very giving and generous when in health, but it feels good for me to fight and be vocal for others. Oh, of course, Melissa. I did not mean to say that Leo is, I don't care about anybody else. It is, I am taking that. It is taking ownership of the snatch it with Mars, because Mars says, take it if you want it. Mars says desire will be fed. Mars says passion will be quenched. That is going to happen. It is very aggressive in that way. And so when Mars gets into Leo, that combination gets that Leo activated to say, I guess it's got to be me, even if previously it has been feeling like that's not mine to deal with. Yeah, I didn't mean self-centered to the exclusion of others. You got to remember, Leo Lion, look at that archetype there, right? That avatar for the sign. The Leo is so proud of its pride. Like it loves its group, its family that it is going to take care of. But in the end, Leo will go out and hunt and kill something and then go, y'all got to drag it back. Leo's like, I did the thing. I killed it. Now it's on y'all. Y'all got to figure out how to get that back to the hut or wherever. I know lions don't live in a hut, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. Self-preserving in that way. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Totally accurate. Pam says, what happens when my Mars is already in Leo on my chart and then Mars moves into Leo? Okay. Let me read that again with articulation. Pam says, so what happens when my Mars is already in Leo in my natal chart and then Mars moves into Leo? Will it be supersized? Yeah, what happens is called your Mars return. That's a great question, and you've got it in your third house. Thank you for letting me know. So you've got Mars in a cadent house in your natal chart. So in your third house, where it's just kind of ... means it's not a huge impact when things come to this house, but this cadent house is one that takes a look at specifically communication, education, your family, your siblings, your cousins, your neighborhood, things that are around your local area, but also social media, big third house matter. When Mars moves in there anyway, it means it is a more active participation in these topics. And so that Mars energy in there, just by transit, would say you're going to feel more passionate about communicating. You're going to feel more passionate about communicating about your third house matters. You're going to go out on social media more and more unapologetically, potentially. And because your natal Mars is already there, you are getting your Mars return, and you get that every 2 years. So you can actually look back at previous years when you had your Mars return. And that's just like your birthday is your solar return. Your birthday is the sun comes back to the exact degree and minute it was at when you were born. So when Mars comes back to the exact same degree and minute that it was at when you were born, you have your Mars return. Happens every 2 years ish, 2 years, 2 months ish. It's so easy to remember Mars shit because it's like the terrible twos, 2 years, 2 months, retrograde every 2 years for 2 months. It takes 2 months to go through each sign. It's like 2, 2, 2, terrible two, yeah, 2, 2, 2. And it when it is not happy, it like throws a tantrum like the terrible twos. Ah! Like it's just Mars is very cranky, or can be. So you will be having your Mars return. Mars return is a reset of your passion, your energy, your drive, your passion for whatever fires you up. And so, yes, especially around third house matters because that's where it is in your natal chart, but also just in general, your Mars is going to be getting a little Mars check. Like, hey, just checking in with you. Like, it's just like on your birthday, you do a little like, am I where I want to be? Am I living the life that I want to live? Am I reaching my goals? You know, another year has passed. Like these are things that we tend to do when the sun comes back around for our solar return on our birthdays or around our birthdays. But the Mars return is one that is specifically checking in on the what of that planet. And the what of Mars is passion, drive, action, fighting, going after it, fighting, fucking, you know, Mars shit. Cool. Yeah. All the family happening right now. Okay. There you go. Well, so Mars already went into Leo for a little bit in October, late September, October of last year. And then right before the election in November, retrograded out and back to Cancer, which is your second house. And so now that Mars is direct, he's been heading back toward your third house for a little while. And so when he lands there next week, Mars is done in Cancer next week. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so great. It's gonna be so great. Is it next week? Wait. Yeah, next week. A week from tomorrow. I'm so ready. April 17th, I've been like looking at on my calendar forever. I'm like, we're going to be done with the eclipses. We're going to be done with the retrogrades. We're going to be done with out of bounds Mars. We're going to be done with Mars in Cancer, the sign of his fall. We're going to get a little bit of an exhale for a couple of weeks. And then it all just gets bonkers again in May. I know. But it already feels better today than it felt yesterday. It's like, Mercury's direct. Yay! Soon Venus direct. Yay! Mars is back in bounds. Yay! Oh my gosh. Yes. Questions before we go. Did you enjoy your tour of the houses? Melissa, did this give you what you needed? God, I'm so happy that Lisa gave us the I start it, I respond to it. God, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna incorporate that on my handout that I'm making for y'all. I was almost finished with it in Canva. It will be at bonniegillespie.com/houses-astrology by the time you're watching this, possibly, depending on when you're watching this. It did great. Excellent. Venus and Mars in Aries. Melly! Woo! You got that will they or won't they energy with both of those in the same sign. That's fun. That's fun. I have a better conceptualization of how they work together. Fabulous. How does that make me? Is there a reset? Melly, you had your Mars return probably last summer of 2024, late spring, like maybe even this time last year. When was Mars in Aries? And Venus is in Aries once every year. We do Venus a lot like we do the sun. It takes 18 months to go retrograde. So when we've got Venus moving through all the signs, it tracks a lot like the sun. So Venus will be moving into Aries again after she's finished with retrograde, which is any minute now. Yeah. And both in the first house. Yeah, planets we have in the first house. If you go watch that transit impact system, the one that I was like, why does astrology hate me? Why are eclipses so hard? Why, whatever. Why does retrograde suck? Like all of that. If you watch that, you'll see that any stuff that is happening in the angles, big deal. Anything that happens in the angles, anything that happens where your sun is, your moon is, big deal. Anything that happens where your chart ruler is, big deal. These are all big, big, big deal places. So if you've got a packed first house, which it sounds like you do, you've got a lot of stuff that when it hits, it is big. And then you get some time off from all that energy. But that first house gets a lot of impact because you've got planets packed in there. I do too. I have a stellium in the first house. I have a stellium in the first house and the 10th house, which both angular, both really easily seen. So, here, this one is the all about me, and this one is the all about what I do for a career. It's like, I thought, by the way, because my business, my non-astrology business is show business and, casting and working with actors and writing self-management for actors and, working on Emmy recognized, like right there, that's my Emmy certificate, like all the things, like all the showbiz things. I actually thought when I first started working on client charts in my showbiz business, I thought that sun in 10th house and sun in 5th house secondarily was like the most common thing because so many people in showbiz have sun in 10th house, sun in 5th house. And then third place would probably be sun in first house. I was just like, wow. Look at all, yeah, like this is a disproportionate number. And then when I started doing charts of not showbiz people, I started seeing how rare it actually is. I mean, it's as rare, it's 1 in 12. It's like, it's a 1 in 12 chance that you're going to have your sun in any particular house in general, just statistically speaking. But and the people who gravitate to show business have their sun in really public places. Like, wow, it's fascinating. It is fascinating. I love it. I love it. I love it. Great. Okay, fabulous. No more questions. We will close things off just before we reach the hour mark. Thank you for joining me. I will be doing Use Your Moons, which is the, I use the cooking show camera overhead and work out the calendar for the month of May with my cute highlighters of all the colors. I will be doing that next week. If you want to keep up with any of my schedule, go to bonniegillespie.com/events and you will see when I am going to be where. I am looking forward to spending time with you always. Hope you will join us for Use Your Moons if you are curious about where the woo of the May calendar is going to line up in terms of colors and chart harmony and all that good stuff. I am running a coaching special for the next couple of weeks if you want to work with me one-on-one for astrology informed coaching or career coaching, showbiz stuff, building your business. I work with creative entrepreneurs. I'm happy to extend the offer to you as well. It is, if you, no, I won't say the link out loud because it may expire by the time you're watching this, but I will put links in the description if you want to check out some of that goodness. And also through the end of Aries season. So expires on April 22nd, 2025. I have a discount code to join my monthly Live Your Chart membership, which is where we do a deep dive of the calendar for the month ahead and a certain area of focus each month. We do a deep dive on something. And I pick the curriculum based on what y'all want to cover or what seems like it needs to be talked about based on the conversations we're having elsewhere. I have a discount for that, and you can lock in that discounted price for as long as you stay in the membership if you use the coupon code ECLIPSE when you check out for Live Your Chart, which is over at bonniegillespie.teachable.com/courses. I hope you will join me there if you would like to do more of this deep dive fun stuff. And of course, if you want to work with me one-on-one, I can't wait. It will be very exciting. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the thank yous. I love you all very much. This has been a blast. Love you tons. Be good to yourselves. Take good care of yourself. The world is a lot. And even though we get a little bit of a breathing room here over the next week and a half, and then through the end of the month, the bonkers is not over. It's just going to start making a little more sense. It all makes sense astrologically. Ain't that fun? All right. Love y'all. Bye.